Hello and welcome to this home updates. So I will update you on the kitchen and go more in depth on it. I just want to do a couple of other things first. So I got this printed out. It's an ink drawing that I commissioned from an artist named See the Lines on Instagram. You can see the outside view of the old house. Here's where the seating was, and then inside of the living room, that's where we used to have this large pendant there. But yeah, I got this printed out because I want to frame this and give it to my landlord because we are seeing her soon, just for like a catch up and a lunch thing. And she really likes vintage stuff. So I've found this teak vintage frame on Etsy. I got it for about $20. I'll leave a link to the Instagram shop, not the Instagram shop, the Etsy shop that I bought this from because there's like a bunch of other frames you can get from them too. So I'm going to frame this in here, and so she can either like hang it up or have it sitting on a desk or something, or a bookshelf. And yeah, I just know that she'll really appreciate this. So I printed it out a little small because I want to add fabric in the back so that way the framing is a little bit interesting. I saw this on Instagram, so I can't take credit for it. It's a very DIY method, but I think it looks pretty good. So you just get piece of fabric and you put it on the back here. We're going to source the fabric from a secondhand fabric store. They just have like a bunch of scraps and bolts of fabric. It's a great place to find cheap, unique fabrics. So we're going to go there for that. And then I wanted to pot up this begonia. So like I said, there was this begonia that was in the garden that my landlord really loved. Like this was one of the plants that she pointed out to me when she was showing me around the place. I gave a cutting to my friend a long time ago, and then I asked for a cutting back from him. So I'm gonna be able to share this with my landlord and she'll really appreciate it. So we're gonna pot it in this pot that I got from Vietnam. My landlord, she really likes cute vintage things, and she's a bit of a plant person herself as well. So yeah, I need to get some soil so we can pot this plant in here. So we're gonna head out, get soil, and then also get a piece of fabric for the artwork. So I've never really had like any relationship with my landlord in all my years of renting. It's very just like businessy, but with our landlord from our other place, she actually lived right across the street from us. So she was over pretty much like every day or every other day because she managed the garden by herself. So I would see her pretty much every day. Like I'd be out in the garden, she'd come in, she'd bring her dogs. And I think some people like wouldn't really like that, but for me it was honestly kind of nice because I work from home, so my day to day I don't really see that many people unless I go out. So it was honestly nice seeing another person every day, and she would see what I'm working on in the garden and talk about the plants, and we would just chat, you know, about the weather and everything. And I feel like we had a similar appreciation for plants and animals and nature over the time that we lived there. We actually formed a really good connection with her. So I'm excited to see her because we haven't seen her since the fire happened, and I hope that like giving her the artwork and then also the plant will lift her spirits a little bit. Okay, let's go to the stores. The fabric store is actually closed today. There's a lot of stores that are just like not open on Mondays. We're just gonna go to the plant store right now. So the store is called Better Grow Hydro. I believe they're mostly an aquaponics store, but they do have a lot of house plants and soil and other soil amendments here. So we just arrived, and they have a lot of really good tropical plants, like good sizes for a good price, I think. I'm not really sure what the market is like right now for things like Monstera albos, but they have really healthy, rare plants in there. Oh, look, they're growing native plants here. Yarrow, California poppies. I forget the name of this one. This place is filled to the brim with tropical plants, some that I haven't even seen in person, and I believe their prices are fairly reasonable. Like this very healthy Albo Monstera is $175, and they have other ones that are cheaper too. If they had this kind of inventory back in 2021 through 2022, they would be sold out. Yeah, just a ton of philodendron like White Knight, White Wizard. They have this Monstera too that I've wanted since 2021 called the White Monster that I was tempted by. However, we are here for soil materials, not plants. I ended up picking up this very chunky perlite bag, and now let's head back home. Really quickly, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Milanote. If you don't know, Milanote is a tool for organizing any of your creative projects. I personally use it to plan and decorate my apartment. So here is my homepage with the layout, and then I have my different boards. So here is the living room, and then we have the bedroom. And then we have the dining and the office space. Where Milanote comes really in handy for me is being able to play with different furniture pieces and decor pieces and see what works with what. So for example, here is our couch, and I played around with different pillows and blankets, and I did this and I thought it looked really beautiful together. So I actually purchased these pieces and it worked out perfectly. It looks amazing. And it also allows me just to see how all of the other furniture pieces that I'm thinking go together. Like, is it harmonious? Do the colors work? Do the textures work? And then I also really like it for color palettes. So here is my color palette. For example, say I wanted to add another color. Say it's purple. Let's go with purple. And we can see that this color, pink, purple, is not going to be a good match. So it allows us to play around with different colors. If you kind of struggle with adding colors to your home, this is a great way to see what works and what does not work. One of my favorite features about Milanote is just how easy it is to use. Say you're browsing on Pinterest for inspiration, you can just go on the page and then drag and drop your image right into your Milanote board. But I learned something even easier than that. So you can download this free extension for your browser called Milanote Web Clipper, and then it allows you to save images to your board without having to have your Milanote board open. So up here in the left corner, the Milanote logo pops up and it says save, so you can just press save. And then you can choose where you want to save it in your board. So I don't want to save it to the homepage, I want to save it to the living room. So save to the living room, now it's there. It is right, all the images are right here in your unsorted tab. So let's just drag this table in, and let's drag this inspiration in. Milanote is available for free with no time limit. You can sign up using the link in my description and get started on your next creative project. Okay, we are on the ground because it's easiest for me to repot stuff on the ground rather than on the desk or the table. So, have our stuff. Here's the pot, here's the plant. It's a propagation that I've had growing in water for a while now. Begonias propagate really easily in water, and I've been adding little fertilizer or little liquid fertilizer drops to this too. So it's putting out a lot of new leaves. And then I have this. This is like the best thing to have if you live in an apartment like this where you don't have any outdoor place to repot stuff. It just keeps things really, really clean. So this is a repotting mat, and I got this from an online plant friend, Phoebe. Shout out to Phoebe. Her Instagram is Welcome to the Jungle. I believe that's right. And this mat is really large. She used to sell these. I don't think she's selling them anymore, but it's so easy to use. It just makes plant stuff so much cleaner. It has these corner tabs that you button together, and then it creates a nice tray. Got my big perlite, and then I have a bag of soil. I got a bag of soil from Jahal. When we first moved in here, I had a few small plants that I wanted to repot, so he just gave me a bag of some of his soil. So I'm just using the rest of this until I need more later possibly, and then I'll go get more. But this is the soil that I use all the time. This is Fox Farm Ocean Forest Mix. This is a pretty small pot, but I don't want to get her anything that's too large because I just don't know if she's like wanting to accumulate things right now. So I think it's best to keep the pot and the plant on the smaller side. When you handle perlite, try not to breathe in any of the dust. So I'm just gonna like hold my breath. Actually, it's not that dusty. When I handle other perlite brands, it just creates this huge cloud of dust, but this one is really clean. Maybe they do a good job cleaning it out. I got my perlite. It is about this thick. So the reason why I put perlite on the bottom is to keep soil from sitting in water. Since this doesn't have drainage holes, if there's excess water, there's nowhere for the water to drain out of. And it's better if the water is sitting in a layer of perlite rather than a layer of organic soil, because if soil is in anaerobic conditions, which means without oxygen, which is like waterlogged soil, then you get issues like root rot and other things like that. So that is why I put the layer of perlite down, and it's also like how you make terrariums and stuff too. You normally put a layer underneath the soil layer. So this is really well rooted, probably more than I'd want it to be. Give it a good shake. This reminds me of when I did my day of plant care videos, except we would be outside with the birds chirping and with the table and the nice sun coming through. This is still fun. Right, Winnie? Excuse me, Winnie. Excuse me. Excuse me. She's rubbing herself on the mic right now. Okay, something that I really miss having is the spray bottle. Remember that long nozzle spray bottle that I had from Japan that I got from the EDA store? Ugh, I think I can buy it now. I need to check online, but that was so nice to have for when I'm repotting stuff, because it's nice to have something to spray all the excess soil away. Okay, I'm gonna go water this in the sink. Hopefully Winnie will be gone by the time I come back. Something that I really like about this apartment is the sink. So it's having a sink that can do this shower thing is really nice for when you're watering plants, because it keeps it from kicking up the soil when you're watering your plants. Because if you water like this, then it's just gonna make a mess everywhere. But if you do like a light rain like this, then the water disperses more evenly and it doesn't make a mess. Here it is. I have this other plant that I've been growing without a drainage hole too. Let me show you. It's this asparagus fern. I kind of just water it whenever the topsoil looks dry, and it's growing really well. And it's just sitting on our dining table and it doesn't get that much light. Now I'm done repotting, and look at how contained this mess is. If I didn't have this mat, then all of that soil would be all over the floor. Okay, now let's talk about the kitchen. And I moved you to the camera because it's kind of easier to just talk about this with the tripod and the camera. Also, this is why I wear so many collared button-up shirts, is because of my mic. So the way my mic works, it looks best if I can clip it into a button-up shirt. So yeah, my mic is just clipped to my t-shirt. When we moved into this apartment, Drew asked if we wanted to be part of his makeover series for fire victims. And at first I was like, oh, well, we're okay, because I plan to furnish this and decorate it myself. But then I was thinking about the kitchen, and I was playing around with the idea of doing a contact paper wrap over the kitchen cabinets. They didn't really look that nice. They had a faux white distressed wood vinyl over them, and you could see the pixels of it. It just didn't look very good. And then I also didn't like the handles. They were very champagne brass and kind of glam. So I asked Drew maybe we could do something in the kitchen, and then we came up with this. So Drew and Justin came over and wrapped all of the cabinets in the kitchen, and then also made handles. And yeah, it looks way better than I thought, honestly, because when I think of vinyl or contact paper, I immediately think that it'll look very DIY and kind of cheap. I'm just really impressed with how it turned out. Let me give you a tour of the kitchen. Also give you some close-ups. Most people, when they come over, they can't tell that this is vinyl. They think it's real wood. And it has a really good light reflection too. Like, it's not too shiny or anything. I had the idea of removing these top cabinets and having open storage because I saw this one picture on Pinterest a long time ago, back when we were at the old house, and I was like, oh, I like this picture, but in our old kitchen we couldn't do anything like that. And then I realized that the layout here is pretty much exactly the same. So we turned this into open shelving. I want to show you just some things that I like in the kitchen right now. So the first thing is this cup. I really like diner mugs like this. Whenever we go to a diner, I feel like the coffee just somehow tastes better because of the mugs that they have. So I got some myself. If you go on Etsy, you can look up buffalo china, and then a lot of this style ceramic comes up, or you could look up diner ceramics. So I learned this from a YouTuber, Rhiannon, I believe her last name is White, Rhiannon White. She talked about this in one of her videos, And I was like, you know what? I do actually like that. And I didn't think of just getting it for myself because I like it when I go to the diner. And then I was like, wait, I could just have this when I'm at home too. So yes, this has been a bit of a kitchen favorite. And then next is this. So yes, this is an oil dispenser, but I am using it for dish soap. Ever since we moved into this apartment, I've been trying to purchase things a lot more consciously and make informed purchases and decisions rather than just like buying random things. So I do a bit of research and everything. I mean, I've always been doing that, but this time I took it a bit more seriously. So I went online and I looked up best soap dispenser, and I found a Reddit post that was pretty much saying that they use an olive oil dispenser for their soap. And I was like, you know what, let me try that, because I think like olive oil bottles look pretty cute. And honestly, this is really good at dispensing soap. I've said that to Chris a couple of times and he kind of just laughs, but it's true. Like, you have a lot of control with how much soap you dispense out. I feel like I'm able to get the perfect amount of soap with this. It just takes a little bit for it to start to come out, but yeah, that's the only con to it, I think. And then over here we have this flower pot table lamp. I don't believe it's an authentic one. I'm pretty sure it's a reproduction, but this is so nice to have because having a table lamp in the kitchen just gives a really cozy ambience. What I love about it is that you can tap it to turn it on. And also the cord is really short, so it doesn't look really messy. That's what I find hard about table lamps in the kitchen, is that the cord, sometimes you need to be creative with how you hide the cord. And then I also just love how this one turns on. It's so easy to use. It has different settings so you can dim it. And then this piece of art was our art, and we got this from Kate Leonard. She is Paige Wassel's friend, and she does a lot of custom framing for unique pieces of art. So this is a triple matted frame. I think I showed it to you already, but we have it hung up here now. And then over here on this wall, our friend Wang, she sent us this calendar. She's an artist, so she creates these. And it's just so cute. And each month has different artwork. I don't want to look ahead because it's a nice surprise every new month, but we can go to the past ones. February, look at that. I've never actually used a physical calendar to write down dates of things, but it's nice to have something that you just like walk around and you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I have this today, or this person's birthday's coming up. So she makes a calendar every year. It's a bit late, I would say, to get one now, but if you're in the market for a calendar next year, definitely check her out. Drew got us this butcher block table that he put as like an island in the center of the kitchen. It looked really good on video, but it did make the way that we use the kitchen not super convenient, because we would have to walk around the island, and we don't use it for kitchen prep because it's pretty low. Like, the counter height is much better for kitchen prep. So we are gonna give this back to him. And he kind of knew, he was like, I don't know if this is going to be practical for you, but we have it and it'll look good for the makeover. So it's like, okay, yeah, we can try it out. And if we don't like it, we'll give it back. I'll show you what it looked like when it was in the center. I mean, it looks nice, especially when you had all of the florals and stuff on here. But it made it so, you know, we're like working on the stove and then we need to go to the sink, but now we have to go around the island. It just felt a little bit awkward. So we got this rug from Schoolhouse during one of their big sales. And you probably know I don't buy a lot of new home decor. Normally my stuff that I get is secondhand, but Schoolhouse is a home decor store that I think has really nice products. I have a lot of character to them. They have really good rugs, lighting, and other furniture, and also fabrics. I think my favorite stuff that they make are their fabrics and their patterns. So rugs and bedding and pillows. They're on the pricier side, especially their lighting. I don't know why their lighting is so pricey, but they do have a lot of sales. But yeah, I love the colors on this rug. This like reddish brown, this kind of blue is my favorite blue. I was thinking of maybe doing a video that's like where to buy home decor if you can't buy vintage, because most of the furniture and home decor that I get is like thrifted or secondhand or vintage. But I'm in this really lucky position to be in Los Angeles where there's just so much of that readily available, and I recognize that most people don't have access to that, especially if you don't live in a big city. Like, Facebook Marketplace in smaller cities is just horrible, and there's no amount of like keyword searching that's going to let you find better things, because most of the time in a small city there just aren't that many things to buy because the population isn't that dense. So yeah, people in LA, their Facebook Marketplace is so much better than yours if you live in a small town. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is. Like cities like New York or Chicago or Seattle or San Francisco or Los Angeles, like they have really good Facebook Marketplaces. I thought that would be fun, you know, where you can purchase nice, unique, cool home decor or furniture that has character to it. So not really like bigger things like West Elm or CB2. I have a lot of like lesser known or smaller brands that I follow. I think it could be fun to share it. So we moved Winnie's cat tree over here near the window. A lot of people were saying you should put it near the window, and so we tried it, and she just loves having the cat tree by the window. She's always sitting on here looking out, smelling outside the window. So yeah, it's gonna be staying here. The only thing is that now this area looks a bit busy, especially with the tree here. So that is my only concern, I suppose. But it's staying here because Winnie loves it, and if Winnie loves it, then you know, that's what we gotta do, right? Since we're giving this back to Drew, I was thinking I could put this rolling stainless steel IKEA cart there because my friend Jahao, he uses it to hold his terrariums, and I think that could be a good option for me because I definitely want to have terrariums or an aquarium again. I just don't know where to put it, so I'm thinking maybe there. It is similar in dimensions, except it's rectangular and it's not square, so it's about half the size, which I think is perfect. And having stainless steel here would just look really good. So yeah, that is a thought. I think in a future home updates, I'll do an IKEA run. So while Drew was here, I asked him to teach me how to do the vinyl wrap over the cabinets because I wanted to learn how to do it too. So I did these myself, but I'm not sure how I want to do these shelves. It's just difficult because I can't really remove the shelves. So Drew said that he would come back and help me wrap the rest of this media console. So it's just gonna look so nice. Like once all of this white area is wrapped the same as this, like this area just looks so cozy. So when we went back to the house to see if it was still there, we found some things like some ceramics and stuff, but then I also found some half-burned pieces of paper. So we grabbed these 2 pieces of paper and I asked Kate if she would frame these for us because I just really love her framing style. And I thought this would just be, you know, a nice way to remember the house. And so this one is in this burlwood frame. I love burlwood, and with this yellow background. And then this one is a butter yellow with a red background, and it matches the paper really well. Chris and I don't have any tools for hanging, so we're not gonna hang this right now, but I just wanted to show you kind of where we're thinking. I was thinking maybe like this, possibly, maybe this way, probably this way. This is a potential spot. I think it could work here. I haven't actually seen what it looks like yet, but I'll see it when I'm editing this video. It's hard to see what stuff looks like when you're just holding it up on the wall. That's what we have for today. And then tomorrow I'm gonna stop by the fabric store and then finish off the framing of the house print. Okay, see you tomorrow. Hello, so it's a continuation of yesterday. We're going to the fabric store, which is called Creative Remainders Reuse, to get the fabric for this frame. And we're seeing our landlord tomorrow, so we need to get this done today. Okay, let's go. We will find you a background. Oh, that's a pretty cool. We can kind of test it. This is what I thought our rug was gonna look like.
Me too.
That's nice.
That is nice. It's really reflective on camera, so you can't really see, but it looks
You can't see the color, but it looks nice in person.
I just don't think it should be anything like too busy, you know?
Yeah. No pattern. Chris was saying it's already busy enough, so it doesn't really need like, you know, something like this. What if we got this?
I mean, it's nice. It's just maybe a little bit
Simple.
boring.
That could be kind of nice. It doesn't really match with like the color of this though.
Yeah.
What do you think? This one or the other one?
I like the other one, but
I think maybe I like the other one too. Okay, we're going with this one. This is the fabric we got. It is a nice deep purple. I was telling Chris that this is the color I thought the rug was going to be that we got for the bedroom. And Chris just loves this color. So this was only $2, and yeah, we have a lot of extra fabric too. So maybe we can use this for our own thing, but when we get home, I'll show you guys how to do this very rough DIY that I found on Instagram. We are home now. I have my fabric, scissors, and then a little bit of tape. So this is very rough. You take your frame apart and you leave the glass and the photo to the side, and then you take the backing. So you need a frame that has some type of backing like this. And pretty much we're gonna be covering the backing with the fabric like that. So we're going to roughly cut the fabric. Now we have the fabric here. So this is where it's very rough around the edges. We're just taping the fabric and folding it down like this and trying to make sure that all of this is very smooth. I'm just gonna start taping. This is my first time doing this, so we'll see how it turns out. I might need to redo it. I left too much fabric to fold down, so I'm cutting it a bit smaller. So the method to tape the fabric onto the backing didn't work because the fabric is too thick and I'm not able to push the backing into the frame. So what I'm going to try and do instead is cut the fabric so it fits behind the glass, and we'll keep it in place by putting the backing up against the fabric, and hopefully it'll stay there. So right now I'm just cutting the fabric so it can sit inside of the frame. What I'm going to do to keep the picture from moving around is tape the picture to the fabric like this. Just eyeballing the center. Okay, that method worked a lot better. It's not fully symmetrical, but handmade, right? So the imperfections are beautiful, right? But yeah, I don't think you can really see the color that well on camera. So yeah, I didn't end up taping the fabric to the backing of it. I just cut out the fabric, laid it flat, and then pushed it up against the glass with the backing, and it looks pretty good. She is really going to love this.